Now, I ask the students, I ask you, how many of you know the famous quotation of Swami Vivekananda on education? Raise your hand. Education is the manifestation of the perfection. Then, how many of you know? Fill in the blanks. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in. Thank you. But do you know, Swami Vivekananda gave another beautiful definition of education. In a question put by Raja Ajit Singh to Swami Vivekananda, what is education? Instant came Swami Vivekananda's reply. Education is the nervous association of certain ideas. What does it mean? Why should an idea be instinct? We will request Srimad Swami Tattwasaranandaji Maharaj, who is the principal of Brahmachari Training Center and who was also head of the B.Ed college at Belur, to answer this question. What do we mean by this and what we can do, what we can learn from this brilliant education by Swami Vivekananda. Education is the nervous association of certain ideas. Maharaj.
Gauram Karunavataram Sansarasaram Jaganiraharam Sada Vasantam Hridaya Vinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Om Yasya Vidyena Kritino Vayamcha Bhuvanani Ramakrishnam Sada Vande Sharvam Swatantram Ishwaram. At the outset, I offer my devoted pranams to most revered Swami Vivekananda Maharaj. I offer my reverential pranams to Swami Suparnanandaji, Swami Shantaranandaji Maharaj, Swami Shastraganandaji. I convey my namaskaras to respected Sri Tarun Goswami, Shaktida. I offer my pranams to other Swamis and Brahmacharis present here. I owe my pranams and deep sense of gratitude to Swami Jayantyanandaji Maharaj for giving me this proud privilege for being present here in the Centenary celebration of Vidyapith as a speaker. Though I have been otherwise be here as an ex-sevak of this place. I extend my good wishes to the youth delegates of this convention and all the members of Vidyapith family. I have been instructed to say something on one of Swamiji's famous sayings. Education is the manifestation of the perfect. Education is the nervous association of ideas. Just now you have heard that Swamiji gave many definitions of education, out of which two are most prominent, mostly well known. One is education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man, and another is education is the nervous association of certain ideas. This education is the association of nervous association of certain ideas. This is a psychologically speaking, theoretically speaking, philosophically speaking, it is a very intricate and difficult topic. I have every doubt whether I will be doing justice the assignment when to me. As you have already heard, that in 1891, when Swamiji was in Mount Abu and was living in an abandoned cave, he met the Raja of Khetri, Prince Ajit Singh, through Raja's private secretary, Munshi Jawaharlal Lal. During their conversations, Prince Ajit Singh asked many questions to Swamiji. One of the questions was that Swamiji, what then is education? In reply, Swamiji answered that I should say that education is the nervous association of certain ideas. We must admit that it was one of the aptly worded path-breaking definitions of education. That education is the nervous association of ideas. We must admit that that is a aptly worded path-breaking definition of education. If seen from a historical perspective, the concept of nervous association of ideas was not a new one. In the year 1690, English philosopher John Locke, in his book An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, used the idea association of ideas for the first time. Then in the year 1739, Scottish philosopher David Hume, in his book A Treatise of Human Nature, maintained that the essential forms of association were by resemblance, by continuity in time or place, and by cause and effect. American philosopher and psychologist William James, in his noted book The Principles of Psychology, which was published in 1890, shifted emphasis away from association of ideas to an association of central process caused by overlapping successive stimuli, and this theory of William James got its popular culmination in 1903 in the theory of conditioned reflexes, as was propounded by Russian physiologist Pavlov. Thus we see that in all the Western theories which were tried to be built up before the advent of Swami Vivekananda by usage, association of ideas, it was tried to be meant or understood that certain ideas are to be injected from outside into us, and by means of educational process, those ideas are to be made associated with our very constitution. If that also we see that all the Western psychologists and philosophers, by the usage association of ideas, they understood that from outside great ideas will come, and through our nervous association it is to be assimilated, it is to be made a part of our very constitution. That's how we must have to include ideas into our very nervous system. That was the Western perspective. But this is not that standing which Swamiji wanted to mean by saying education is the nervous association of ideas. This is to be understood very carefully. Swamiji's position is totally different from the Western psychologists and philosophers. According to him, ideas are not to be imported or borrowed from outside. Ideas are inherent in man from his very birth. Only those ideas are to be unveiled or discovered or manifested by means of stimulating our nervous system, sometimes by taking the help of external stimulus. Since the indwelling self of every human being is self-luminous, self-effulgent Atman. Atman, actually that word Atman means two things. Firstly, it should be self-luminous, self-effulgent, and second, that entity should be the indwelling essence of everybody and everything. That is the meaning of Atman. So since the indwelling self of every human being is self-luminous, self-effulgent Atman, and since Atman is of the nature of pure knowledge and pure wisdom, no ideas need to be brought from outside. Swamiji made this point very clear in Karma Yoga. In the chapter Karma and its effect on character, there in great details Swamiji said on this topic, how to make the ideas associated with our nervous system. Swamiji wrote in that chapter on karma and its effect on character. Now this knowledge again is inherent in man. Swamiji is writing. No knowledge comes from outside. It is all inside. What we say a man knows should in strict psychological language be what he discovers or unveils. What a man learns is really what he discovers by taking the cover off his own soul, which is a mine of infinite knowledge. So nowadays in 1960s, since 1960s, There evolved one theory, psychological theory in the West that is called constructivism. Constructivism of Vygotsky, etc., Jean Piaget, etc. According to that constructivist theory, that edifice of knowledge is to be constructed inside the classroom by means of interaction between the teachers and the taught. So knowledge is not to be borrowed from outside, it will be constructed inside the classroom by means of an interaction between the teachers and the taught. The same thing Swamiji said many years back. Swamiji is again writing. We say Newton discovered gravitation. Was it sitting anywhere in the corner waiting for him? It was in his own mind. The time came and he found it out. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in your own mind. The external world is simply the suggestion, the occasion which sets you to study your mind. But the object of your study is always your own mind. That is a very technical point that Swamiji is mentioning here. The falling of an apple gave the suggestion to Newton and he studied his own mind. He rearranged all the previous links of thoughts in his mind and discovered a new link amongst them, which we call the law of gravitation. It was not in the apple. That means the law of gravitation was not in the apple, nor in anything in the center of the earth. All knowledge, therefore, secular or spiritual, might be all knowledge, therefore, secular and spiritual, as in human mind, in many cases, it is not discovered, but remains covered. And when the covering is being slowly taken off, we say we are learning. And the advance of knowledge is made by the advance of the process of uncovering. The man from whom this veil is being lifted is more knowledgeable man. The man upon whom it lies thick is ignorant. And the man from whom it has entirely gone is all-knowing, omniscient, omnipotent. There have been omniscient men, and I believe there will be yet. And that there will be myriads of them in the cycle to come. Like fire in a piece of flint, knowledge exists in the mind. Suggestion is the friction which brings it out. So, Swamiji explained the nervous association of ideas in great details. We need not to explain it further. Now the question is that certain ideas are there which are helpful during our youth. When we are students, those ideas are needed for us. So, you know that Swami Vivekanandaji Maharaj, who was the second secretary of this Deoghar Vidyapith and who was considered to be the architect of the academic area, academic administration of both this Deoghar Vidyapith and Belur students' home. He compiled some mantras from different scriptures. Whenever new students come to be admitted in our educational institutions, we hold one Vidyapith Homa. Vidyapith Homa is nothing but some vows to be undertaken by the students. Just immediately after they are admitted in our schools or colleges or university. There in those mantras, the ideas which are to be made a part and parcel of our very existence are put beautifully. So those mantras, I am not going to discuss in details. A few of the ideas which have been mentioned there, I try to just touch upon. The first idea, this is only one idea. This one idea is appearing as many ideas. Those ideas are already there. These are not to be borrowed from outside. But stimulating our nervous system, we are to be aware that these ideas were there. If we practice those ideas, if we put those ideas into practice, then we will be benefited, society will be benefited. That is the essence of Swamiji's saying. So, among those few ideas, I am just now mentioning a few. First is, we are to be aware of our body, and we are to be aware of the fact that body is our physical body is the first means of practicing righteousness. In the mantra it is said that Sharidam Adyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam Iti Nitivakyam Avadharja Srama Shama Niroga Shariraya Swasthavidhi Palam Paro Bhavitum Aham Yatha Sadhyam Yadishye. So we are to make our body strong, that Peshayo Medo Vasama Bhavantu. We are to make our muscles like iron. Then Snayo Me Ayan Sivo Bhavantu. We are to make our nuts like steel. Hridayam Me Vajrasakam Bhavatu. We are to make our heart like thunderbolt, like that. Even in Samvediya, Kenopanishad, we see that Kenopanishad, it stands for the realization of that fact that this Tattwasaranandaji is the Paramatma. But there, this Upanishad is also being started with that Shanti mantra that Om Apyayantu Mamangani Bhapranas Chakshu Srotramatho Balam Indiyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam. Let our body be strong, let our senses be strong, let our limbs be strong, because these will help us realizing our real nature. Then another concept we are to be taken care of, which is to be taken care of, is that awareness that we must undergo austerity called study. When we are students, our only austerity is to study. That should be our only austerity. Chhatranam, Vadhyanam, Tapaha. Second mantra goes like that. So, Tapa, that austerity, penas, that is a very important word. Without austerity, nothing great can be achieved. So, even the Ramayana, the great epic, it starts with that word Tapa. Tapa Swadhyaya Miratam. Valmiki Munipungavam, like that. So, tapasya, especially when we are students, is very, very important. Tapasya, kaik tapasya, vachik tapasya, manashik tapasya, physical austerity, verbal austerity, mental austerity, these are to be practiced very carefully. This is also one important concept. Then third concept is that Satyameva Jayate. Nanritam, that conviction that truth alone wins and not the untruth. So we are to stick to truth. That is another concept. Again I am repeating that these are not the concepts which are separated from each other. This is only one concept, that Atman alone exists. This one concept is appearing as many concepts. So through our nervous stimulation, this realization should take possession of us. And what will happen when this realization will take possession of us? The Upanishad says that two things will take place. First, eradication of all these sufferings. Three types of sufferings are there: Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik and Adhyatmika. These three types of sufferings will be eradicated. And second thing which will take place, that it will enable us to be one with bliss absolute. We will be enjoying immense bliss. Brahmanande Shudra Anandana Antarbhava, in that way. So I will end this talk by quoting from one of the poems of Swami Vivekananda. Actually, this is a part of one letter which was written to Mary Hale. Mary Hale misunderstood the Advaita philosophy. That when we say that Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, everything is Brahman, we say that this rose is Brahman, these leaves are Brahman, this dais is Brahman. Swamiji is telling that I am not telling. That is some misunderstanding of the Advaitic Vedantic concept. What I intend to say is that only Brahman alone exists. And due to our ignorance, we are seeing it as the world, as Jagat. So Swamiji is writing, so many hell, allow me tell, you mar my doctrine, longing, walking, I never taught, such queer thought, all is God, unmeaning talking. But this I say, remember, pray, God alone is true, all else is nothing. The real in me is none but He, never, never matter changing. Pronouns to all and namaskar.